All right. I love this. How to use advanced Kennedy principles to seduce your audience. Hmm.
Seduce your audience.
Do tell.
So one of the things that I love about what we learned in Kennedy style marketing is how to use your marketing to overcome objections,
Hmm.
right? So you start with what objections are your clients already giving you? Okay. What have they said? Is it really that they don't have enough money? Is it that they don't have enough time? Is it like, what is that backstory? And so that's what you use. Your your content is based on what the backstory is. So for example, right? One of my principles is you need to establish authority by writing something. Okay. And so most people go, I don't want to, I'm not a writer. I was bad in English, especially my doctor clients, right? They're
Hmm.
like, you've seen my handwriting. I can only write for my colleagues. And I'm like, no, this is an easy one, right? We are going to write it for you. But because I know that they don't like to write,
Right.
then my content is about how we write it all for you.
Hmm.
So I say, hey, do you know that writing a book can really catapult your practice? Well,
Right.
what if we just write the book for you? Ah, now we've got some seduction.
Right.
Now we've got some seduction coming because now they're like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me watch, right? Let me watch. But that only starts when you know the objections. So what is the other objection? One of my favorite that one of my other mentors taught is that he was selling gym memberships. And when he would talk to women, they would say, oh, it's I just don't have time. It just doesn't make sense. And he's like, you really do have time. But he actually said, well, what it was, the backstory. And turns out that the backstory was every time she left her 3-year-old to go to the gym, the 3-year-old would cry and
Oh.
kick and mommy, please don't leave me. And so she's like, oh, I can't deal with that. But if we talk about or interview one of our new clients who talks about, well, you know what? My 3-year-old really used to cry, cry, cry when I first started leaving him.
Hmm.
But now he's fine once I leave. And I need that hour for me so that I can battle him for the rest of the afternoon. So
Wow.
they don't even know that we're seducing them,
Right.
but they resonate with that story.
Right.
Right? So you take what their biggest fear is and you keep going, the whole why. Well, why don't they have enough time? Well, they do have enough time. They just feel guilty for leaving their kids. They feel the doctor feels overwhelmed. The doctor feels as if he writes it that he's going to be judged by his colleagues and that it needs to be PhD worthy, right?
Right.
Ooh, I love the eye roll, right? Because it's like, no, you're not. They could care less. Right?
Right.
They're in the book that we write is not so that you can show the latest technique that needs to be discovered and needs to be approved by the FDA. Like
Right.
that's not what we're writing. We're writing, you know, how you are the expert and how you're going to make the patient feel comfortable when they come to you, especially a dentist, right? That's biggest fear that your patient has is that you're going to hurt them and that it's going to hurt and that's
Right.
going to hurt for a long time. So your book is how we have gentle free procedures so that you won't feel it. Isn't
Right.
that awesome? Right? So it's figuring out what their fear is, and this is a classic Dan, right? Figuring out, well, what are they afraid of, and then creating scenarios around what they're afraid of, or using your existing customers' testimonials to overcome those.
Yeah. One of the books that we looked at together on the I Love Doctor books had headlines highlighting that pain point or that thing that they were concerned about.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's I love the I Love Doctor book,
Yeah.
It's one that, you give away. It's so fantastic. And it was so brilliantly done that I just fell in love with it. And now I do it for every single doctor that comes in. We're writing an I Love Doctor book.
Yeah.
I love the doc book.
Yeah.
In addition to all of those, like Dan taught us how to, the same way of seduction, and you don't even know that it's happening. That's what I mean by seduction, is make sure that we do some polarizing things, right?
Right.
Something, who are we fighting against? Like, is it big government? Is it Donald Trump? Right? If we're being, that's what the speeches were last night at the Democratic at their conference. Is it Kamala? Right? That's what it was 2 weeks ago. Like, who is the big scary monster that we need to fight against? Is it Elon Musk? Is it X? Is it who is it? Right? Pick a fight. So he used to tell us always to pick a fight. Like, you just pick a fight so that it galvanizes the people who are with you. Common enemy, or something that's polarizing. Like, algorithms love when you are polarizing. So if you're just, well, but you can be this and you can be that. No, that doesn't go viral, right?
No.
If you want to be this, you need to do that. That goes viral.
Yeah. Remember Dan's common thing: if you're not pissing someone off by noon every day, you're not doing your job well.
You're not doing your job well, right? And my other favorite is if we're not given refunds, then I'm not selling hard enough.
Right.
So it's like, right. But it is always, we live in a tiptoe society, right?
Yeah.
Where we're constantly, tipping. Ooh, can I say? Ooh, can I not say? The one thing about social is you get to say whatever you want to say. And there are people who love that about you, right? That this is just who you are. And what I have always loved about social, and we laughed in the beginning about my potty mouth, is it's just that I'm on TV all the time, so I've kind of tamed that.
Right.
But what I love about social is I just get to be me. And the people who are attracted to me come to me. Like, I don't have to pretend. I don't have to, hey, if I want to be in my Dan Kennedy sweatshirt every single day, that's what I was in doing videos, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, if I'm on my couch, then that's it. It's that renegade lifestyle of, I get to freedom for me is being able to do whatever the hell I want, whenever I want. And I like to show that in my videos, being anywhere in my house, not sitting at my desk so that you can see, here are my books, here is my whiteboard, here's how I stop it. I'm here sometimes, but the majority of the time.
Right. Funny about that being polarizing or not, I remember when I first started my local chapter, I was using my son, who was very small at the time, referred to him as mini-me because Dan is very big on using personality and copy to connect with your audience. So he said, use yourself, use a spouse, use a child, use your pet, whatever it is, use a made-up character, the Disney effect, Mickey Mouse, right? So I would use my son in my everyday emails and talk about mini-me. And so one day I got an email from someone who had been a member of my local chapter. And she goes, what, I'm tired of hearing about your son and hearing about you going to the bathroom and all that stuff. I wasn't talking about that stuff, but she just equated me sharing my life with her about going to the bathroom. She goes, one thing you're going to find out is your mini-me is going to be a disappointment and all this stuff. And I'm like, holy crap. And she goes, I'm not going to your meetings anymore, and I don't want to get your emails anymore. And I said,
good.
That's okay. Good for you. Good for you for telling me. Good for you.
Right. Give her the finger. See, now I'm going to cuss. Like, what?
Yeah. No, I didn't I laughed. I mean, I thought it was funny. But do you know how many others look forward to it? And to this day, if I haven't, just let's say I've been doing this with the local chapter since 2007.
Yeah.
2007. People who I haven't seen in years say, how's mini-me?
Yes.
How's he doing? He must be in college now. No, he's graduated from college. It's like, they
Yes.
still refer to him because
Yes.
that was the connection point. There was
Yes.
a reason they connected. Either they were parents, wish they had that relationship with their son, their
Yep.
parents had that relationship, or they
Yes.
wanted to be parents and have that relationship.
Yes.
They
Yes.
connected.
Yes.
And that's why I had people, and I still have people with me today after, you know, 15 years, 16
Right.
years.
Not only that, here's what's so funny, Craig, is with all of that, right? My kid just graduated from high school. I did the same thing. I did stop calling her mini me though, because I don't want her to be me. I wanted her to be something else. So now I call her my best, my billionaire.
$1 billion bestie.
Yes, because I want her not to do millions like I want her to do billions. Yes. So I call her my $1 billion bestie. And she's all over. So she just graduated from high school. And I announced that she graduated from high school and showed her Cash App. Okay. My kid, because she's been my person in copy, using the Dan Kennedy, got so much money from strangers.
Oh my God.
She kept showing me, Mommy, who's this? I'm like, I don't know. Like we're checking them out on social. And I'm like, so I was sending thank you notes because Dan says we need to do that too, right? And thank you so much. And please, please can I have your address? And so she was just writing a thank you note. I'm like, you need to do a sales letter. So she was writing, thank you so much. Let me tell you what I'm doing with the money. Let me tell you how you've impacted my next career.
Right.
she did fabulous thank you notes. But that's how personality and copy works, is that people become invested with you.
Yeah. I mean, just one more and then we got to close up. But, number one, I called him the college boy while he was going to college. The college graduate is who he is today.
Yes.
But we use that too, because I was using that on social media, as well as email and direct mail and all that stuff. People, when he needed to raise money for a trip to Washington with his middle school at the time, we sent out the mailing to people that we knew from social media.
Yeah.
And he raised more money than he needed to, but
but
he wrote the letter. I modified it a little bit. I put it in crayon, marker or something like that,
Yeah.
And it was a PDF letter, and he made a lot of money. Same thing for his graduation. I said, hey, Mini Me is now college boy. He's going to be the college graduate soon. If you'd like to send him a note or some, and that's because they had a relationship with him as much as they had a relationship with me. And the bonding
absolutely. And that's what actually social does, is it allows them to participate in your life without notifying you until they're ready. Right. And then when they're ready, then they regurgitate all of your posts to you.
Yeah.
They say, oh my gosh, I had experienced a cancer journey over the last 2 years. And so I wasn't one of those everydayers, right? I didn't even allow people to know until I was through it, just because it was such a difficult process. But with that, now they all ask, hey, how's it going? How you feeling? What are you doing? How can I help? How can I serve? How can I be more connected to you, just because of this journey? And everybody's got a story of somebody who is impacted with cancer, right? So in social and in all your marketing, which are truly advanced Kennedy principles, we use everything.
Yeah.
And I always used to tell my group, we use all the things that you don't tell anybody.
Right.
All those secrets. Now is the time to use those secrets so that it can connect with your ideal tribe and your ideal audience.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we have to wrap up. Always wonderful to have you. How can people reach out to you if they heard something they like, or if they just love your beautiful face and they want to say, I need to know that beautiful person and be connected to her? How would they reach you?
And if you're going through a cancer journey, or you have a loved one who is, I'm always an open ear and can give you some of how I battled through and how I am now thriving after losing all my hair. And dealing with that. So they can find me at Richelle Shaw on all social. They can go to RichelleShaw.com. I think in my thing here, there's my agency that we do all the social media for you, for doctors, specialties, experts. And they can find that at the mdeagency.com, the mdeagency.com, or at RichelleShaw.com. You can find anything and everything you need to know. All of my socials on Richelle Shaw. If you Google me,
Yeah.
I think there is about 2 million entries all on me, because I've been sharing everything about me for a long time.
Right. And just to get her spelling, there it is right there. RICHELLESHAW.
Like rich girl, right? Rich,
Rich
and then
girl. Rich
L
girl
is
Shaw.
girl for French. And then rich girl.